All right, greetings everybody. This is Verona again from Ancestral Voices. I was here yesterday with an interview, and now I'm back today with Diani Kane. Those who have watched our first documentary, Ancestral Voices, Esoteric African Knowledge, may recognize her. So, Diani, welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really well, thank you.
Good, good. I mean, it's an honor to have you back. And I mean, a lot of the audience, if they haven't already seen the first film, may not be aware of your journey and everything you've been into. But obviously, the last time we saw you, you were speaking on your experience with a boga. And obviously, that was now over 11 years ago. So I really look forward to speaking with you about
Right.
your spiritual journey and everything you've done. Every time, no exaggeration, people watching out there, every time I speak to Diani, she's in another part of the world, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. So, Diani, if you can tell us where you're coming in from today.
Today I'm in Turkey. I'm living in the mountains. And also, the greatest thing is I'm living in the mountains, but I'm also on the beach.
Beautiful. I mean, the scenery just looks, look at that. The scenery is
I
phenomenal.
know. I'm living now.
All right. So, Diani, it's funny because obviously I met you first now in 2010. But I don't know your full spiritual journey. So if you can start with that for us, I'm very intrigued to know.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I would say that when I was 7 years old, I started my spiritual journey because I said to my mum, I want to go to find God, so I want to go to church. And my grandma had a church and my uncles. And so, yeah, I first went to church to, try and find some spirituality or some meaning or some truth at 7. I stayed
Wow.
in church till I was 11. And then I changed churches. And yeah, and then I went to a few other churches. I would say I stayed in churches till I was about 13.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then I kind of moved away from the church from then.
And then what made you move away from the church and then what did you move into?
Well, I never found, I never felt that I found God there, and I was looking for some kind of truth and God. And even though everyone was telling me to do this, Bible studies, and I was part of the church, and yeah, I felt good for that moment, but really it was only because I was following everyone. I was thinking, I don't feel what they feel, so why am I not feeling God the way they're feeling God in this church? So I tried a few other churches and, went to Girl Guides. I did all kinds of stuff in the church, but yeah, so I left because I just felt that I never found God through.
And then, so once you realized that the church wasn't giving you what you needed spiritually, where did you move on to?
Well, for a while, I don't think I was following a spiritual journey. I learned to dance and, and then I kind of, yeah, I would say that no, I was dancing a lot and I studied dance. So I felt
Okay.
really good doing that. That was like, my expression, of me expressing myself. And then after that, I stopped dancing, slowly stopped dancing. I felt a bit like, you know, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And I had quite a few spiritual, enlightening moments. Like I always seem to know when someone in my family or someone close to me passed over the other side, died, as you say. But
Hmm.
yeah, and I just thought I want to look into that more. And that's how I started the spiritual journey of trying to look into why do I see things or feel things or know things, because it didn't seem to be normal with anyone else around me.
So were you always highly intuitive or did that develop from the dance practice?
No, I was way intuitive. I was more intuitive as a child. And then
I
I
see.
realized because like I used to tell people things or my family and they was like, don't do that, you know.
Mm,
So I started blocking it. And then I
mm.
just felt quite different to a lot of people. I always felt different. And I, never met anyone really on a level that I could speak to in that way about my spiritual, experiences because it was like a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like in a negative way, but I wasn't. I was just saying, guess what? I think grandfather just died 5 minutes ago, and they're like, what? What kind of thing is that to say?
Yeah.
I felt, and it was true.
Wow. Amazing. So, at what point was it then that you actually started to acknowledge that, okay, I do have this kind of gift? Was there a point when you thought, actually, this is who I am and I accept it? And if so, what got you to that stage?
Well, I went to Pune. I went to Pune to the Osho Center in India, and
Okay.
yeah, because yeah, I wasn't confident enough to know, yeah, I've got this gift or anything like that. So yeah, I went to Pune and I did like I read a lot of his books for about 3 years, and I saw that he was a great scientist. And he said that if you do the dynamic meditation for 21 days, it will change your life. And I really liked what I read. His books were very simple. There was nothing intellectual about his books, even though he was very intellectual himself. And he was a scientist, a spiritual man. He was a guru. And for me, I just went into the scientific side because I was just trying to find ways to raise my vibration and enlighten myself. At that time, I was like, I want enlightenment. This is what we're here for. We're
Yeah.
here to learn our lessons. So if we're here to learn our lessons, I want to learn my lessons and become enlightened. That
Oh man, family, what is going on? This is the second day now we're getting internet connection problems. So, for those of you that were joined yesterday when we had Dr. Lualuka on the show, he also experienced a blackout from the Congo, so that destroyed our internet connection for a bit. Diane is currently in Turkey, so hopefully we can resume the call. So shout out to everybody listening. There's a lot of people watching. Thank you for all the people contributing your messages. And Diani's back. Welcome back, Diani. You all right there? What happened there? Was that this the internet go out?
No, the internet was still on. I don't know what happened. Sorry.
No worries. So carry on. Yeah, Mercury retrograde. Thank you, Ocean. It's so true. But anyway, carry on. You were telling us about your dynamic meditation with Osho.
Yeah, and then so I did the 21 days of the dynamic meditation, and and then while at the end of that, I was sitting in, like, they used to do this white robe in the evenings meditation, and when I was sitting there, I just disappeared. It's like because obviously, when your ego and your personality is gone, you have no recollection. You're gone. So I didn't even know it happened. I just remember, like, coming out of this space. I was running around, and then it's like I was running because I went and sat on a cushion. And when I sat on that cushion, I closed my eyes because everyone was looking at me, and I felt really shy. And
Wow.
then I woke up in midair, like screaming, running around, like this next level energy that I never felt before.
Yeah.
And I mean, they call it samadhi or whatever they want to. There's so many labels to it, but it's like I can't even talk about it. It's so beyond. And I couldn't believe that. Wow. And so I wasn't there. So I had to ask everybody what happened. Like, I was sitting on the cushion, and then I woke up in midair, and everyone
Wow.
was like, you levitated, and then you was running around screaming, and then obviously the energy, everyone was screaming then, and going crazy, and I was dancing, and I have no recollection of it. you know
Wow.
but after that, I couldn't sleep. I was so high on energy. And some friends were having a party outside for me being in India, and I was just looking at, they said to me, oh my God, you're such an amazing dancer. Last night, you was just looking at the stars all night, but I just felt so connected to everything. And it was like, when I went silent, I could hear this like heartbeat. And I was thinking, what is that? And then I realized it's like the universe, you know, and
Mm.
this peace and the love that you feel. It's just like, so, I had that taste very early, which
Mhm.
meant you can't go any other way. You will
Yeah.
always follow that now because you want that again, and if that's where meditation can take you, then it's like, no, 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 I've got to continue this.
Wow. That is phenomenal. So it's almost like an out of body experience then. It was just like you were just released from this physical vessel into something much greater.
But the thing was, like, when I woke up, like, this guy had his arms around me, yeah, and his face was close to my face like this. And I could see some friends on the right, and I was like, help, help, like, why is this guy, And years later, when I was working with, because I'm going to move into this, when I was working with ayahuasca, I saw that my third eye was blocked. I knew it was blocked anyway, but I was quite happy not to see for a while. So, I just thought, oh, maybe now it's like this. So, because there's always different developments. And I thought, okay, maybe it's like this now, because it was a relief in a way. But then when I took this work, it was me and my two friends, and we were shamans anyway. So we all did our own doses. And I said, okay, I said it to myself, I'm going to work and see why I can't see through my third eye anymore. And then straight away, I saw that someone in India had blocked it.
Wow.
And then the session, so I cleared it. And then after the session, I was trying to think, but I didn't go to any Indian healers or anything. So who could have done that to me? And then later on, when I got home at 6 a.m., the guy that was hugging me when I finished the meditation, when I was really ecstatic, it was him. He came into my kitchen in London, and he was like, I can't see. And I was like, what's he doing here? And then I realized that he was the one that put black magic on me and blocked my third eye. And he worked for the 21 that ran Pune, part of the Osho Center. And they'd obviously, if anyone has that kind of experience, because I met all these old ladies there that had been around there for 50 years, and they were saying, we've never seen this happen, only when Osho was in the body. Because I think Osho left the body around 91, and it was in 2000 when I was there. So it was 10 years later or 9 years later. So obviously, they put the black magic on me. And so this guy comes in my house and he's like, I can't see. And the rules are with black magic that if you lift it off you, it goes straight back to where it come from, So I just told him, get out my kitchen. I'm really sorry. I didn't send it back to you, because I wouldn't do that to someone. It's called karma,
So what was the reason for that then? Is it because they could see your potential and then didn't like it? Was that what it was?
Yes,
wow.
Maybe they thought I was going to take over the center or something, and be the new Osho. But obviously, I don't know what would have happened, because it's beyond me, it's something beyond.
So this was revealed to you, you said, during an ayahuasca session.
It was revealed to me 4 or 5 years after that, or maybe 3 years after that. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And so, because you've also done iboga, so which one happened first? Because you've obviously had quite a bit of an experience with plant medicine.
They said I was really blessed, because I started with the iboga, because they say, because with the iboga, it grounds you, it's the root, so everybody I met, what happened was they were working with ayahuasca first, and they were all having out of body. They were just all out their body, because obviously it's the vine. So you're just gone, and everyone's all spaced out, because no one's grounded. So I started with the root. And then they say, so you can ground yourself and then you can fly, Everyone was saying, wow, you're so blessed that, the iboga came to me first,
And what was your experience like in Gabon, for those who haven't seen our part 1 film?
Well, Gabon was next level. When I did the last film, I didn't actually know that what had happened to me is that they'd also put black magic on me in Gabon, because I think I was the second group to go there to Gabon ever out of foreigners, and the first group was the women that I was actually working with, that I was with, but that's what I'm saying, I thought that was my family, and you're all sort of growing as spiritual sisters and brothers together, and we all went to Gabon. We was taken, as I said, with Christine, and and obviously she discussed it with the tribe leader, that they were going to put some blockage on me. But so when I did the last documentary, at that time I didn't know that that's what had happened to me. I didn't know that I had that on me, and it was maybe a few months after that. Then I found out that it was a really, really bad black magic they put on me. And most people would have died within a couple of weeks, within a month, because they was trying to take me out. Obviously, they were trying to do that because, I never saw myself, but they obviously saw something in me, and they were They were trying to block me. So I had that for 13 years, that black magic.
Wow.
So after Gabon, so now I'm going to be a part of the crew. I used to run the ceremonies anyway, but I never used to sit on the bench, you know, where and I wasn't allowed to give iboga or anything like that, which I didn't mind. But I was looking after all the people that were doing the cure, and I was looking after all the people that came with them. So I used to like look after 300-400 people alone at the weekend while everybody went to sleep, or everyone used to come to me and tell me what their issues were. And then I used to report it to the team, the tribe, you know, okay, this is going on with that one, that's going on with that one. Yeah, so it was very powerful ceremonies, and yeah, I was a big part of that. So
Wow.
when I came back, I was so happy. Now I'm part of the crew. I'm going to be on the bench. You know, I suppose it's still an ego story, really, that you're going to be on the bench. You know, and now, but no, I just thought I'm going to be more powerful. I'm going to be able to do more work and help more people, because that's always been my story. You know, to help as many people as possible. And so when I came back from Gabon and I went into the first ceremony, I just thought, I remember Zingo, who was the head of the tribe in Gabon, he said, Diana, you can take that plant anytime you want. So I just thought, you know what, something came to me and said, you've got to take the plant now, just as the ceremony was starting. So I just walked away from where I was sitting, took the iboga and laid down. And then it's like spirit said to me, you need to leave now. And I was
Okay.
fighting 1 hour, like, no way, I've just gone to Gabon, I've spent all this money, you know, I've been in all these ceremonies, paying for the ceremonies. Now the team said to me they were going to pay me like £5,000 a month to, you know, be a part of the team and with this healing and doing ceremonies of ayahuasca and iboga. So I'd worked hard to get to this point, and finally I was going to get paid. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get paid. So, but Spirit was like, no, your time's up now, it's finished. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like you always think that your journey's going on a certain direction, and now you're going to be the shaman, and then you're going to do this and that. And then that was it. So after an hour, I got up and I left, you know.
You
I
literally
talked,
left the
I was
country.
saying, no, I left the ceremony, and
Yeah.
we was in Wales somewhere, and
Oh, right.
everyone was like, you know, what's going on? Because I just got dressed, I had all my tribal clothes on, put my normal clothes, and I said, I'll see you guys later. And they said, what's going on? 1 minute, sorry.
No worries.
Oh, oh, all right.
Guys,
I've
if you
got,
have any
I've
comments as
got,
well, keep dropping them in the chat. Go ahead. Was that a cat I could hear?
yeah, it's a kitten, and she hurt her foot.
Oh,
Got two kittens.
cool. So go ahead.
Yeah. So where was I?
You left the ceremony and you're like, I can't stay here.
Yeah, and then you know, that took me on another journey, because then I found out that, you know, I had the black magic, and then I realized that, you know, some of that team were actually conspiring and they actually set me up. But yeah, so then I went on another journey, like, I've got to find a cure now. So I traveled to many places in the world, even though I was told that I had to clear it myself. I just thought, oh, if I go to this particular healer in Brazil, he's not going to know that, you know. So I went around the world to all these amazing, powerful healers trying to find a cure, you know. And every time I got there, they were like, you have to do this yourself. You've got to do this yourself, you know. But so then I just thought, what am I going to do now? Like, if I've got to do it myself, and it wasn't coming to me how to do it, how I'm going to clear it. So then I had to put my mind, you know, mind over matter, to say, actually, I still feel really strong, you know. And my friends were coming to me for healing, and they were still seeing, like, when I used to touch people, they used to see a lot of light for days, some weeks, you know. And they're telling me, but I don't know what's wrong with you, Gianni, because we're still like, we're seeing so much light after you touch us. So I was thinking, wow, maybe I'm not as weak as I think I am, or I'm not going to let this, because it was also on my crown.
Mm-hmm.
The part of the black magic was on my crown, and they say that disconnects you from everything, God and everything. But I still felt connected, you know. So I still felt strong. So I just think to myself, I must be so strong, really powerful, because no matter what they did, you know, I still felt strong, you know, and I still, you know. So I just think I went into all these places of working, trying to raise my vibration with light workers. And I don't know, there was a lot of jealousy around always, and they always ended up trying to harm me. So it's a strange way, because Yeah, it's a bit strange.
No, thank you for sharing us that with us, because this is what we're finding a lot these days, is that people are obviously finding spiritual solutions or people to help. And as we know, there's a lot of people out there with bad mind and jealousy or just straight up charlatans. So it really is hard to know what to do. And this is why I always encourage people seek that wisdom within themselves first for trying to go outside, because it can be dangerous out there. But as you were talking, all I could think of was the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy
Exactly.
going through this whole journey. But it's like in the end, it was down to you. It's like no place like home. The wisdom was within you. So, how do you feel now? Do you feel like you've got to a state in your journey where you're confident without having to see other people? Where would you say you are now?
Yeah, I'm really confident without seeing other people. It did take me a little time because, as I said, it was only 2 years ago that I cleared the black magic, you know? So, therefore, what I had to do was I had to start tuning into myself and really removing all doubt and build my confidence up again,
Mm,
because that was a big one, the confidence,
yeah.
um, especially after going through a journey like that. Because, but now, I'm back. And I'm really standing in my power now. And I would say 95% I'm already in my power. So I'm actually in the middle. I'm not in the middle. I'm at the end of a transition of mastering, the physical, So now it's like, wow. So now I'm doing all kinds of healing, like people ask me, oh, can you clear ancestral curses? And I thought, let me try. Boom, it happened. So now, as I said, I've taken away all doubt. So now I feel that there's nothing that I cannot work on. There's nothing that I cannot heal in other people. So I'm just shining my light, on anyone that needs it or anyone that asks for help, basically, because I'm here to serve. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being this or being that. I'm just here serving. I'm just doing, we're all here to serve, but most people don't know it. I know I'm here to serve. So,
Beautiful.
and I feel like I'm really in an amazing place. I have a lot of energy now, and I feel really peace because I had so many things happen to me on this journey, but they're clear now. I've healed them, So I just feel like every day I could just walk around with my arms like this, like yes, thank you, thank you. It's like finally, finally. So many people have been off grid for 5 years. At some point, I was just running around because what I wanted to do was I wanted to give as much as I can so that I could get the help to lift off this black magic. And I thought, you know what? And I was fully serving, I was like living like a gypsy, driving from country to country, going to churches, temples, and just doing blessings everywhere because everywhere was so dark at that time. It was really dense on the planet, really, really dense. So I was shown and guided that on the 21st of December, 2021 or 2020, is all this light's going to be shining. But first we need all these places cleared, So I was just running around fully serving, giving my whole self. Nobody knew what I was doing and everybody thought I was crazy. And even I thought I was crazy. But you have to be crazy to do some of the work that I've done. And I'm just happy that I was crazy.
No, that's brilliant. So you were mentioning at the end, but there's a lot of talk around that time about the significance of the 21st of December 2020. Where do you think we are now, like spiritually on the earth and the vibration? What would you say we're experiencing now then?
We've got more light on this we've got more light on the planet than ever. We've been waiting for this for thousands and thousands of years, so it's here now. And then we have the solstice on the 21st of June. So
Yeah.
that's gonna bring, we all need to be ready for that. So if you're focusing on, the big V and all these Babylon people, then obviously, you're going to enhance that more in your life. If you're just focusing on the light or, goodness, the positivity and bringing that inside instead of running around talking a good game. Everybody speaks, like, as you can see, I'm not speaking all these spiritual words. I speak from my heart, but everyone I go and I'm thinking, wow, everybody's awake now, and everybody's speaking this. And then when I really look at it, I think, you know what? Everyone's just talking the language, everyone's talking the language. And I'm here to like elevate and help people raise their vibration. So, and help myself because, there is no limits. Do you know what I mean? We limit ourselves. There's no limits to this, to reach ourselves as spiritual beings. having this human experience. Let's not get it twisted. You know, we're spiritual beings having this human experience. And to be in this body at this time, it's a massive celebration. You know, like people asking me about vaccines. It's like, oh my God, vaccines. Do you know what I mean? Look what's going on right now. More light on the planet than ever. So I ran around doing all that work for, I don't know, 30 odd years, healing myself. Now you can do it overnight. You know?
I hear what you mean, that the vibration now is definitely much stronger. And I've been speaking about this from last year, is that it feels as though if you're trying to manifest, it's just a lot quicker now. It's a lot easier. So we have to be so mindful of where we put our attention, what we speak. You know, as you said, we can be bringing negativity in our lives unknowingly. So it's about attuning our mind. So that I'm glad you brought that up. Also, Diani, I know people are going to be mentioning this. You said that you've been healing yourself of many different things, obviously things that people have projected onto you, ancestral.
There's many layers.
That's right. What would you recommend to those in the audience? And in the audience, feel free to add in your questions. What would you recommend to those who are on their healing journey and they want to start developing themselves? Are there any sort of basic fundamental tips that you would recommend people do?
Yeah. I would like to teach a fundamental basic, but this basic will change your life. Yeah. I mean, if we got a few minutes that we can do this, it will take 2 minutes, because this is what I want to. I want to ground the world, because no one's in their body, especially at this time where these guys are just projecting so much fear out there. You know, so while they're projecting all their fear, everyone's worrying, you know, my grandparents and the vaccine and the this and the that and the that and the this. So I'm just saying, like, so what everybody's doing is they leave their body. So everyone's walking around, but there's no one in the body. So everybody I'm speaking to, I'm thinking, oh my God, another one, they're not grounded. So I would love to ground the audience, everybody that's watching today. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, man.
Come on, girl.
Go
so
ahead.
We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to take it. We're going to uncross everything. Nothing cross. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, into the stomach, all the way up to the chest. And as we release, we're going to send our roots down into Mother Earth. And we're going to send our roots all the way down, all the way towards the core, sending our roots all the way down. And when we get to the core, we're going to see a big red crystal, massive red crystal. And we're going to wrap our roots around that crystal. And as we're wrapping those roots around the crystal, we're going to see it lighting up in pure white light. And we're going to see that white light coming up our roots back towards our feet, coming all the way up, all the way up, all the way up the roots, pure white light, until we see our toes in pure white light, up to our ankles in pure white light, up to our knees in pure white light, to our hips, all the way up to the shoulders, fill our arms up in pure white light, coming up the neck and the chin, to the nose, the eyes, to the crown. And we just say thank you to Mother Earth. So how do you feel, Verona?
I could actually feel, as it was going up, I could feel tingles going up my whole body. So anyone in the comments, if you did that, participated, please let us know how that impacted you. But I could feel, yeah, like tingles. That's the best way I could describe it, moving up my body.
Yeah, because basically you're back in your body now, you know? And now it's going to make life a lot easier. So imagine you're out there somewhere in the universe, and every time you want to do something, you know, even say pour a glass of water, you got to reach out there and come all the way in here to pour that water. It takes so much energy. You know, we have come here as spiritual beings to have this human experience. We're only here for a moment, even if it's 100 years. It's a moment compared to the rest of infinity, right? Because infinity is like, because no one dies. Nothing dies in this universe, right? Nothing. So when people say people die in a corona, I'm like, what? Nothing dies in this universe. So if nothing dies in this universe, you know, we're here for a moment. And it's like, to have this human experience in the universe as spiritual beings, we are really blessed. Like all the spiritual beings in the rest of the universe and the other dimensions would love to be having this experience. So it's a full-on blessing to be in this body. So why are we going to be escaping out there and living outside the body when we're meant to be here and now in this body to have this human experience so that we can learn our lessons and raise our vibration and hopefully step into our fullest potential as spiritual beings.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Tonya said I could feel my feet grasping the roots. So that was great. That was
So that means basically she's come back in her body. And like I said, this healing, and then when you bring in the light, you can just send your roots down and wrap it around the crystal and just say thank you. That's good enough. And then that means you're grounded. But when I bring the light, that was channeled to me. So when I bring the light up, it's a healing. So anything that's in your body, any negative energies on the auric field, anything attached, it's gone. So you're doing two things in once then. It will change your life, you know, really. It's such a like, I'm in many groups and some of them really are really intellectuals, you know, and they intellectualize, what is the word? Intellectualize spiritual, you know, path, being on the path. And I think to myself, how are people going to really understand that? I get it because I am aware of what they're talking about. But, you know, it's very simple, you know, and that's what I loved about Osho in them days, is that everything he writes, it is very simple. And everything is very basic. Yeah, it's so simple, the techniques. You don't have to intellectualize it.
Angel Slang said my vision just got clear, so that's great on the back of the feeling. Caesar says feeling peaceful and relaxed. Imani Nassor says feeling a little spacey but incredibly peaceful and calm. Asante Sana, thank you very much, Sister Diani.
Welcome, sister.
LL says, can she do it again, please? So do you mind carrying out another session for us?
I'd love to do it again. Right, so we're going to uncross everything and we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, breathe into the stomach, let it come up to the chest, and as you release it, release the roots coming out your feet like a tree. And we're going to send those roots all the way down into the Mother Earth, all the way towards the core. When we reach the core, we're going to see a big red crystal, and we're going to wrap our roots around that crystal really, really tight. And as we wrap them around, we're going to see them lighting up in pure white light. And we see that white light traveling up the roots all the way back towards the feet, coming all the way up in pure white light. You see the roots in pure white light coming all the way up until it reaches your toes in pure white light, all the way up to your knees in pure white light, all the way up to your hips, pure white light. And then you see it coming up all the way up to your shoulders, filling up your arms in pure white light, all the way up the neck in pure white light, all the way up your face to the crown. And then we just say thank you to Mother Earth. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And normally you see so much brighter when you open your eyes.
I feel refreshed. It's just like a very nice, calming and refreshed feeling. So says calmness. So no, thank you for that. Obviously, we said we weren't going to script this interview, and now you're doing healing sessions and all sorts. So I love it. I love how these things just flow. So obviously, you said this is something that you recommend we should do. Is this something we should do on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, this is something that you should do every 12 hours when you wake up and when you go to sleep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
wonderful.
because in that way, you're in your body. And in that way, you can receive, you know, you can receive your guidance. You can listen to yourself easier. You can meditate easier, your work, everything. You know, a lot of people, they come out of relationships when they come back in their body. They think, oh, my God, I've been so unhappy for such a long time. But when you're not grounded, it's hard to even feel emotions. Most people feel lost because they are not in their body. Yeah. They're wondering why they feel lost, or why, you know, are they running around getting the big V? Because they're not even in their bodies. They don't know. So obviously these people that are running this Babylon system, you know, obviously they're just going to be like asleep, because if you're not in your body, how are you going to wake up? You do all the work in the world. If you're not in your body, it's just a waste of time, because I don't know who is in your body doing what you do every day, but it's not you.
I love that. Thank you. Because I wanted to get into that with you, because it's 10 years plus we've known you now. Every time, no exaggeration, every time I speak to you, you're in a different part of the world. Now, for most people right now, they're like, oh, I can't travel because XYZ is happening. So you've been a free spirit, which is why I even call today's interview Spirit, because for me, you are the epitome of spirit. You don't confine to any form of restrictions and so forth. What would you say has given you that ability just to do literally what you want and create your own reality?
Well, when in about 1998, I thought I'm going to try manifestation. And I was living in Holland, and my son was young, and like everyone was saying, oh, you know, he needs to go to school in the UK. And I was thinking, yeah, actually, maybe I will send him to school in the UK, but then I would need an apartment there. And as I said, I was living in Amsterdam. And so then I thought, oh my God, how am I going to get an apartment? And then I thought, okay, let me try and manifest one. Where am I going to live? And I was like hanging around Brick Lane before that time in the early, you know, like 95, 96. And I thought, yeah, that would be a really good place to have a place because it's an international area and it's an artist and my background is fashion. So I thought, yeah, let me be in a creative area. So I did my yoga and half an hour. And then after finishing my yoga, my half an hour yoga, then I closed my eyes and I said, okay, then let's see if this manifestation works. It was before the law of attraction and all those things, you know, came about. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask you, Spirit, like I would like a place in Brick Lane, Cheshire Street or Spitalfields, you know? Anyway, 6 weeks later, I moved into, you know, it came through Spitalfields. And anyway, all three came true. Yeah, 100% accurate. They all came true. My house was half on Brick Lane, half on Cheshire Street. And I got it through a Spitalfields company. So yeah, I got it all. You know, and I thought, oh my God. And that was within 6 weeks. So within 3 weeks,
Wow.
I went and got a place. And then 3 weeks later, I moved in and I was like, right. So I want to be on a beach. I want to be on the beaches. I want to go around the world and just live on beaches and do my spiritual work and do my healing. And that's what I've done. Wow. And as you can see, I manifest it again now. I'm in Turkey.
I know, I'm just looking at that background like, wow.
And also organic garden, you know, because my lifestyle, I do eat organic food, very high vibration. I've also cleaned all my genetics because I was working. I met these two scientists on the path 20 years ago. And I heard that they can clear things in your body. And I had lots of intolerances. They said, you're not allowed to say allergies. And I really had a lot of food intolerances. And they said to me, no, yeah, we can help you. So anyway, I started this journey with them. And obviously I was traveling. They were in England. And they just sent me every month email. And it showed me all the things I had to take out my diet. So for the first 5 years, I wasn't allowed coffee, sugar, wheat. I never ate dairy anyway. Dairy and meat. I didn't eat meat. I stopped eating meat and dairy at 17. Wow. And 17 years old because my dad was kind of like, you know, more into the Rasta thing at ITAL. So I started off on the ITAL. You know, that's what started me off. So yeah. So and then every month for maybe 18 years. And also by doing that work, I was clearing my own body. And even though they say you can't clean your genetics, I was also clearing my genetics because what they said to me is I said to them, like, how many sessions would I need of this? At that time, people were like, oh, you need 10 sessions, you need 15 sessions. And this is why I kind of stuck with this lady. She said, no, you can just do the one session, you know? And I was like, really? So she said, no, but it depends how far you want to go. And I said, well, I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. So I did it all that time. But what she explained to me, she said, by doing this work, you're healing the ancestors, you know, so you will free up your ancestors. And if your ancestors are free, then all the future generations, my son's children, all the future generations that come through us, they'll be free. They will not be born with all these crazy genetics and all these issues that we're all born with. And half of us, we don't even know. We're born with all these problems and we don't know where they come from, you know, but it's our genetics. It comes in our history, you know, from our ancestors. So in 2018, I cleared it. I finished it. But I followed strict diet every single month, you know, and, you know, and I had to take many different supplements, cleared my body of all metals, because metals is a big one, because metals stop us from healing ourselves. So I knew I had to get the metals out immediately. Like, you know, like energy saving bulbs, these LED bulbs, you know, that everyone's got in their house, they leak pure mercury, you know, and food has mercury inside. They're putting mercury metals in all the food. Because many people that come to me, they've got aluminium poison, they've got lead poisoning in their blood, you know, and these things are really not good for the body. So chlorella is a very good thing to clear these metals. And I took 20 chlorella every
Corella.
day for 10 years. Yeah, like CHLORELLA. And it doesn't even say on the packet that that's what chlorella is good for. And even people I speak to, they don't know. But chlorella is good for taking all metals out of the body. Because as I said, otherwise we have blockages, from our healing. We cannot heal without our bodies without, taking chlorella. Exactly, that's how you spell it, yes.
Wonderful. I'll just put that up for everyone who's going to be asking.
There's a really good company in the UK. They're called Seven Hills Whole Foods, and it's a
Okay.
small family running the business. You can get so many great things, and the work and what they're selling is very high vibrational. So yeah, I'm recommending them.
I love what you said there. Like when you were talking about cleansing the body on a cellular level and clearing out all the sort of toxins and the heavy metals, that really resonated with me. And I'm just like, that's definitely this Corella. I'm going to look into that now.
Yeah, and it's
See,
good to take chlorella. Sorry to
go
cut
ahead.
you, but so I want it to come in. It's good for you to take chlorella with spirulina.
Yeah.
Also spirulina, and also a really good, like a metagenic vitamin C, like Nutri Advanced is a very good company that I use, and I send all my clients there because they're also selling very high vibrational products, because so many companies are jumping on this thing now, and a lot of their products are, also they're even putting really negative stuff in the vitamin C that they're selling in normal shops. So ultra potent vitamin C from Nutri Advance is a very good. Yes, it's a little bit expensive, about 30 something a pot or whatever, but come on, this is our temple, And
Yeah.
so I'm going to buy the best for my temple and what works. So by doing that, you're actually detoxing your body on many, many levels, and yeah, it's really
I love
good.
that. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing. Caesar
Well,
says, thank you, Verona, for hosting Diane. Great service to humanity.
exactly.
Omni Inner says, wow, so inspiring. I'm on the same path as a free spirit and healer. Thank you, Verona and Diane. Bernadette says, since Diane taught me this a few months ago, I feel more connected, confident. I am now standing in my power. So thank you so much, Bernadette, for sharing. Okay, and Bliss B says Supernova Sun Clean. Afua's son has a tincture that includes chlorella and spirulina. I take it daily. Amazing. Only $35, lasts for about a month. So thank you for sharing that as well. So we appreciate this advice. So anyone in the comments, if you do have any questions for Diane, bring them in. I've also added the strap at the bottom of the screen. So if anyone does want to contact Diane for more information, she is on Instagram, and that's her Instagram handle. So, I mean, you covered a lot there, and I need to take it back. I'm going to go back because you said you were already raised on an ITIL diet through your dad. So what is your heritage? Is your dad Jamaican then?
Yeah, my dad's Jamaican and my mum's from Malta. But yeah.
Wow.
But like I was growing up with my mum, my parents had separated because at that time there was a lot of trouble. Like, like my dad, at them days, there used to be a lot of sus laws, where they used to just black men up the street and just beat them, And so my dad kind of got a bit sick being beaten up by police and all that kind of thing. So obviously it mashed up the relationship between him and my mum.
Yeah.
And so then I was brought up with my mum. And then when I was like 6 or 7, I still saw my dad on a regular basis. But then when I was about 7, I thought, no, I need to delve into my Jamaican side. I need to go and check out my Jamaican family. And then I just felt at home, actually, with my grandma and stuff.
Okay. And so how have you found it when you started to connect to that Jamaican heritage of yours? How did that impact your spiritual journey?
Well, the thing is, like, like with the Jamaicans, they speak about OBR and the Doppy and the Rid. Anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's like normal talk. So I could speak about this stuff, really easily. And so I just felt at home, actually. I felt really at home with the food. I never liked English food, or I was always into Jamaican. My mum used to cook me separate Jamaican food to my brothers and sisters, So Jamaican for me was like, I'm Jamaican. I spent 5 years in Jamaica.
Wow.
like in the beginning of no, maybe I'm not sure when, maybe after our video, maybe around after 2010. And I spent, no, before that, because it was about, I haven't been there for about 15 years. So yeah, about 2005, I went to Jamaica and spent quite a lot of time there. And I was growing my own food and stuff. And I was shown, when I saw what the Jamaicans were putting on the food, I was like, I thought Jamaica was on an ITAL thing, ITAL business. Anyway, then I started showing them how to grow, and how I taught them to grow was to make kombucha and then use it for the plants, for the insects and stuff. But in Jamaica, they were selling them, modified seeds anyway from all them days, all them years ago. So then I started importing seeds from the UK and like saying, come on, let's grow some natural food.
Wow.
So,
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And also thank you, Mimi Hall, for your donation. That is truly appreciated. Thank you so much. So Leo Wright is asking what kind of dietary program. So I guess he's asking for if you can elaborate on an ITIL diet for us.
well, the ITIL diet, I mean, it's different because like with the diet that I was doing was like I was being tested for my own, like what my body was asking for. And because I was doing healing, and each level there's different things that need to be cleared. So depending on what you was clearing, on what layer I was on, it depended what food I was allowed to eat at that time, because you had to take things out of your diet and add other things just to clear a certain something. As I said, I was doing the ancestral healing, but my basic diet is vegetables, salad, greens, lots and lots of greens. Every morning I drink hot water with lemon, because if you have got a virus in the body, as soon as you drink hot water and lemon, it's gone. Hot water, lemon in the morning, it cleans all your organs, your liver, your kidneys, and it clears any virus that could be, you could have picked up in your body. So yeah, so it's amazing. Hot water and lemon. And I also try to drink 2 liters of water every day, and men should drink like 2.5, 3 liters, because that clears everything. You're just washing everything through. And we just need that every day. We really need that every day, that amount of water, because by having that amount of water, our body's just, working at its normal, and the immune system's just working at its normal high vibration. Yeah, so I can feel through the bone stream. I could do that. I was thinking, let's do a healing. Maybe I could just, like everyone that's listening, I could just do a blessing for. What about that, Verona?
I love it. I'm there. You know me already. I'm always open to exploring.
I'm just going with, what's coming through. So I've been shown I need to do a healing for everyone. So people can close their eyes, uncross everything, and I'm just going to send a big blessing for everybody. Wow, that was very strong.
I'm feeling tingles around my crown area.
I just went through all your chakras as well, Verona. I just did a thing on your chakras. And what I did was I sent it to everybody, and from the throat, from the heart chakra, and then I just blessed all the chakras. So everybody will feel something, hopefully. But if not everybody's sensitive. But it was a beautiful blessing. I felt it was really strong.
I can feel tingles all the way through now. At first it was in my head, and now it's like my whole body's feeling it. So Leo's saying yes. I think that means he can feel it. If anyone else is feeling anything else, please put it in the comments. But we appreciate this because Diani, I don't know if you remember, years ago, I can't remember, this may have been like 2013, I don't know. But I went to see you. I believe you gave me like Reiki healing or something when you were living in like Bethnal Green. And Omni Imna says, I felt it in my heart. So that's beautiful.
Really sending the light through the heart chakra.
And you gave me this session, and I don't know, you had some incense, you're doing Reiki healing on me. And I'm telling you, for the next few weeks after I left you, I was like on cloud 9. My vibration was so high. I was just like living off fruit for the next few weeks. Like I dropped crazy amount of weight. I was like, All of this happened
Really?
from one session. Yeah. It was
And
just,
that was like a
my
long time ago.
discipline was crazy. Like I've never been so disciplined like that in my whole life. And I
Thanks,
literally looked
Diva.
different. So
Like,
you do have a very strong energy, like hands down. I can attest to that because I experienced it and I was like, wow. So,
oh,
oh,
now, because I was thinking I just want to touch as many people as possible. And that's when I withdrew from healing. And I thought, you know what? It's not enough. Even if I did 300 people a day, it's not enough. So I thought if I raise my own vibration and really step into my fullest power, then hopefully you can just walk into anywhere, a football stadium, and go, and everyone's, had a kind of healing or something. So then that's why I realized, you've got to heal yourself. You can't be running out there as healers and trying to help everybody. Yes, you can, because you get experience and you learn, but a lot of the time I actually got quite sick helping people, because
yeah.
I didn't enough, or I wasn't at the right vibration, to be. So that's when I had to withdraw, especially after all the black magic and everything. So many people tried to take me out. But guess what? They can't do that now because I've raised my vibration enough, to shine on the world, So all of those that harm me, thank you, because you have to give thanks for them. Because if all these people didn't harm me, then I would never be who I am today. It wouldn't have made me go so deep,
Mm.
So yeah, it's a blessing. And you realize that everything is a blessing. Everything that led me to this moment is a blessing, a true blessing. And thank you.
Wow, I love your outlook. That is beautiful. Minister Hippolyte says, I can feel something in my chest and I feel like I want to cry. So that
Good,
sounds
release it.
like
If you
release it.
feel like crying, let it out. It's something that needs to come out of the body. We need to get rid of all this stuff. Let it out, and then you're free. And
And
Reiki, I did Reiki all those years ago. I mean, I don't do Reiki anymore, but yeah, Reiki really helped me open up to my own energy, because it was amazing. I was doing amazing Reiki sessions at that time. Yeah.
and Leo said it is still moving in my body from
Yeah.
my crown down. I'm feeling it as well, actually. I
And you
can
know
still.
why? Because I asked your guides, everybody's guides, to continue the healing. So even though I stopped, I opened my eyes after a few minutes, I let the healing continue, with your guides. I asked your guides, because everybody's got spiritual guides. Yeah. And so I asked them to just continue with, balancing out the chakras for you,
Mhm. Thank you. Now, in the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned that, you used to start to be able to see things and know things that were happening. And people were like, how are you able to do that? And often it was kind of frowned upon. For people who do possess those gifts, what advice would you give to them? Because a lot of people tend to suppress those gifts because they don't know how to deal with it. What advice would you give?
Well, ground yourselves. Put your golden shield around you, because grounding and protection is very important. And then, close your eyes, meditate. Meditation, Dhyani means meditation,
Mhm.
because meditation took me to such a level that I had to name myself Dhyani so that I would never forget, because the mind's got so many ways of tricking you, right?
Mm,
So,
excellent.
don't forget. So yeah, and I say go within, because everybody's reading all these books. I used to be a bookworm myself, live in the bookshop, come out with 10, 15 spiritual books a time, read 10, 15 books a week. But then I was told, put your books down, stop researching on the internet. And I let go of all that and I went inside me. So I found that all the answers are within. They're not anywhere out there, nowhere out there. So, meditation is key, really.
Wonderful, wonderful. If anyone has any more questions for Diani, please put them in the chat. So you mentioned that you've actually given us a lot of good advice. You've told us that we should be grounding ourselves morning
Yes,
and night every day to keep ourselves
12 hours.
sane, really, and
Yeah.
just to keep ourselves in this physical vessel, but still aware of our spirit. You've taught us the benefits of eating according to your own body type and
Yeah.
flushing ourselves of any excess metals that we may be holding in our bodies.
Yeah.
Are there any other tips that you can recommend that we can do living in this environment, especially right now where we're constantly projected with negative energies?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because now, like, I travel around, even though I'm here in Turkey. I move around, and like, even when I do healing, I go to the people. I'm doing astral traveling to wherever I need to go to help people.
Wow.
So you
I
want to
went
do.
London.
I go to. Oh.
Sorry, that was me. I ended up opening a window in the background. Apologies.
So I went to London like a couple of nights ago, and when I felt the power of the radiation, I saw that actually it's not 5G. They're pushing 9 to 10G because the 5G didn't work. So they're actually pushing 9 to 10G. And
Wow.
when I was breathing, it was like all this heat that was coming inside my body, and I was thinking, oh my God, I've got to go to London soon, like on business. How am I gonna deal with this? Um, and then a couple of days later, I met somebody that mentioned this, and it's this new technology, nanotechnology, and so I'm really they call it plasmo. So I just found out about it, and I picked it up yesterday. And then the woman was showing me, this scientist, that she makes all these other pieces that are. Can I go and get one of the pieces, please?
Go ahead, yeah. Nice one, Imani. Yes, indeed. To heal oneself first on your journey, absolutely give thanks for any imbalance in your life, as it is your blessings to allow you to be your authentic spiritual self. It is the hero's journey. Thank you so much for that comment, Imani. All right, Diani, so let's have a look.
So it's these now. So, I'm going to get these out to the world, because this is a lady sitting in a small village, and it's made of copper, and then she does some kind of electric. I mean, I can't really intellectualize on it at the moment because I just picked them up yesterday.
Yeah.
But it came to me because I said, okay, I need something for the radiation. Now, I've asked if she can make them. Well, she said to me she can make them for the house. So she sent me a sample this morning. So with all the smart meters that everybody's got, and all the radiation, with all the Wi-Fi boxes, they're built in the ground now, I heard. That's why they can push out, the bigger the Gs, like, 10G, whatever. So by having these on you and having these in your house, it's going to protect you from a lot of radiation. So you can either put this around your neck, or you can put it in your pocket, and also this plasma technology. This one is keeping you from all negative energies. It's a tiny, look, I've got one here.
What is that? Is that like a liquid inside?
It's like a liquid inside. The liquid dries, but it's quite advanced, this technology. The liquid dries, but still, it works, and it keeps all negative energies away. And the greatest thing about these products is that it turns the negative into positive. So imagine you've got all this all this radiation coming through. It turns it into a positive. So the lady was explaining to me, she had sciatica. And as soon as she wore this, it just disappeared. So it turns any negative energy into positive. Could you imagine something like this? I'm like, wow. I said, I want to get this out to the world. Would you be prepared to make them? Because she just made a few. She's like, yeah, this is all new technology. And I'm like, yes, I'm into new technology. So, yeah, so this nice. Anyway, if anybody wants anything like this, they can contact me, because I will send them out to the world.
Okay. So Cosmic Trill is already asking, where can I get one? So Diani's Instagram handle is at the bottom of the screen. Charles is also, wrong place. Charles is also asking, what is the name of that thing?
It's plasmo technology.
Plasmo technology. Wow.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fantastic. Wow.
But anyway, so if anyone contacts me, I can send the information. It's an Iranian invention, from a certain foundation, Kesha Foundation. So I'm just looking into it myself, as I said. But as soon as I saw it, it felt right. This is it. Because when I saw it on my friend's neck, I was like, oh my God, what's that? And she was like, you've got to meet this woman. And then as she said, you've got to meet her, we'll look to the right, and there was the woman. Can you imagine? I'm in the middle of a bazaar. She goes, that's the lady there. And I thought, of course it's the lady. This is how it works.
No, thank you for sharing that, because right now I think we all need tips on what we can do to help elevate ourselves, protect ourselves. And as you mentioned, go ahead.
Like even on my mobile phone, I put I do all kinds of things, and I have been for a long time, because I've been aware of electromagnetic stress. And when those ladies, I was working with those scientists, and they used to test my body, they'd say, oh my God, you've got so much electromagnetic stress, And so this is a smart dot, and there's a company called Healthy House. and it's a UK company, Healthy House, and they do smart dots. I normally have one on my wrist as well, but I don't have it on because there's no radiation here. But
Wow.
it's moving around, yeah. So the smart dot is a very good thing. You can put it on the back of your phone. You can carry one on your wrist, and you always put it on the left because the left side is the receiving side.
Okay. I can see some questions in the chat, but I'm cheekily going to get in there before. So I noticed, because obviously you come to England every now and again, but usually you're away. Do you find that the energy over here is too heavy? What are your thoughts on that? Is that why you tend to go more coastal regions and things like that, where the
I
sun
don't know.
is?
I just have a big connection with the sea,
Oh,
and so I just have to be near the sea, you know. And I don't like the cold. I like hot climates.
Amy.
I've been in the hot climates for the last, I don't know, 30 odd years. So yeah, I just stick with that.
No
Well, if you can
problem.
choose where you want to be, why would you choose London? I mean,
No,
yeah,
I
London's.
agree.
I mean, why would I live in London? When I pass through, I really enjoy the vibration. Yeah, yeah. Catch up with a few people. It's nice.
But you like the sea, which I completely understand.
Yeah,
So the next, and quite a few people in the chat wanted you to just give advice on, because before you mentioned meditation as a fundamental thing that we should do, what tips would you give for how people can meditate?
well, the thing is that, it was very true about something that Osho said. I read in one of his books that how do people from the West meditate? Like, how do you meditate? It's like you've got so much going on, especially like Londoners, all this stuff going on. We're moving people, because London is very fast. And in London, what you guys do in one day, I do in 1 month. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the sea is very cleansing. It's a high vibration to live next to the sea. And yes, I also do, healing with the water. And if anyone wants to come in the sea, I do healing. And also, when I'm doing healing, I actually call the, Yemaja and the sea goddesses and the power of the sea to like enhance the healing.
Definitely. So when you talk about meditation, are you talking about it as something that you sit and go,
Right. You
or are
can't.
you?
You've got to be active, he said.
Uh-huh.
Screaming. When I was in Pune, I did screaming, laughing, crying, like you've got to get it out. So I started teaching Nataraj, which is a dance meditation, So when you're doing the dance meditation, I did the Osho one and then I did my own one. Like I got live musicians in and I was doing soul healing concerts, so that you got all these live amazing musicians, and most of the instruments of the ancient instruments of the people that we're using, actually they've all got this ancestral stories that this is a healing instrument and it clears negative energies and it balances the chakras that people don't really know about. So I started learning about all these guys that playing these instruments and going around the world playing, and they're actually healing people. And I thought, right, I need a sound healing concert. I did sound healing concerts, and then we've got everybody dancing, moving, blah, blah. 45 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes we lay down. Because then when you lay down, you can just switch off, and you can go deep because you've got all the noise out. So much noise in the mind, and then you can go much deeper because the mind's silent, you're more relaxed and free.
Excellent. So you'd recommend that like high intense physical activity, then relaxing. So
Yes.
stimulate the body and then relax the
Yes.
mind.
Yes. 45 minutes at least.
Okay, I love that. I love that.
And
So
then, so when you do sit and meditate, you can go much deeper. You can actually go within, it's amazing. Rather than you're sitting there and you're thinking, watching your breath, you're watching your breath, and then your mind goes 1 million places. It goes, oh yeah, I've got to get the milk, I've got to get the children. Oh yeah, I mustn't forget that at the supermarket. Oh yeah, I've got to ring blah blah back. Oh, the kids need their what do you call it next week? So your mind goes everywhere. And then when you remember, you come back to the moment, to the breath, But the more you get out and the more you heal yourself, the easier it is to go deep, the easier it is. So I say, yeah, get it out and then relax.
beautiful. Minister Hippolyte says, as someone who has grown their own food, do you have a ritual for working on the land? Because before you mentioned you used to grow your own food.
I do. Because in Jamaica, the guys are like, Diane, like, why we afford? Because they were like, how is like your food growing like that? And I said, me now, I tell you, I thought, I'm not telling them. secret. And you know, every day, and then they caught me, you know, like I'd meditate for 15, 20 minutes the end of every day, and send a vibration to my food, you know?
So
So then
you
that
would meditate and send that vibration to the food.
yeah,
Beautiful.
I'd be sitting there, I'd be sitting right next to the food, you know, and
Wow.
as I'm next to the
Okay.
food, send a vibration and give thanks, thanking Mother Earth, blessing my food, sending love, you know, because love is the highest vibration. You can't send nothing higher than love. You can't send nothing higher than love. You know, love is the ultimate, is the number one.
I
So
love
yeah,
this. So Bliss says, loving her honest head energy, her freedom is inspiring. And I must say, that's what I've always thought about you. Like, even though you were saying that when I knew you, you were going through your own dramas, but
yeah,
I could see that externally, you still had that same positive, really uplifting freedom energy. I love it. I absolutely love it. So Angel Sang says, wow, I'm speechless. Okay, great question. So Spicy Peach 10 says, peace, what do you do to protect yourself from spiritual attacks? Do you have ongoing methods to keep yourself connected? Well done. Excellent question.
a really good question, because the thing is, that's why I taught the grounding technique. Because if you're not in your body, who else is? There's all kinds
Yeah.
of attachments. If you're not in your body and you're out there in the universe, there's all kinds of attachments on you. So the grounding, you know, and then after I do the grounding, I ask spirits what a golden shield of protection around me. And I visualize, I see that golden shield. Because as soon as I see it, I say thank you. You know, it's done, because whatever we ask for, we receive it immediately. You know, so we just ask, and even if you can't see it, eventually you will see it if you keep trying. Not keep trying in that session, you just say thank you, because once you've asked, you know, you can trust and have faith that yes, they've given it to us for whatever we want.
Beautiful. Thank you. I also wanted to ask you, despite having certain negative experiences with bad-minded people around plant medicines, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on plant medicine in general? Like, what did it do for you spiritually whilst doing it?
Well, at the time, because the first time I went, I think I cleared maybe 3 lives in one night. And I was thinking, oh my God, that's it. If I can clear 3 nights, you know, 3 lives in one night, so then I'm just going to do this for 5 years and clear all my lives. It don't go like that. It doesn't go like that. But what I realize now is that I actually came out of it a lot worse than what I went in. So yeah, I did spiritual uplifting, yeah. But you know, all the other stuff, you don't know what you're messing around with. You're messing around with other people's, you know, ancient stuff. You really need to know what you're dealing with when you're working with all these spirits and whatever. Like I told you, they put black magic on me. They tried to take me out. You know, even the family that was working with spiritually, the ones that said, oh, we're the Iboga family, you know, like, and because after that, no one reached out to me. Everyone just left me. They must have just thought, that's it, Diane's finished. Yeah, whatever. You know? So anyway, yeah, you got to be really careful on the plants. And the thing is as well, is that it was so dark and so dense on the planet at that time. We
Mm,
needed the plants. So I needed those plants to accelerate myself to be where I am now, so I could get to the next layer. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It was too dark. So the plants helped me, because obviously you put your intention in, you know, and then boom, you go out there and you do your work, you know, or you clear whatever you layer. It was just all healing for me. I ask
mhm.
people now, I meet people and I'm like, yeah, so, you know, and they're saying, you know, everyone, I mean, I can't even believe it's on advertising on Facebook now, ayahuasca, you know.
Is
But so
it? Wow.
while I was working with Iboga, the ayahuasca community was coming to us, because in them days, you could only go to the Santa Daime to have ayahuasca. There was no ayahuasca in London. It was not like the way it is now, you know. So now everybody's looking for a spiritual way. So how are they going to go on a spiritual way? Well, let's do ayahuasca. But they don't realize all the other negative side of it. You know, they're ungrounding themselves, they're taking themselves out of their body. You know, there are some crews that are, because I met one crew last year in India, in Goa. Lockdown happened there, but I mean, I wasn't on lockdown, but I was in India at that time in Goa, and there was a community there, and they were these kind of Afro, they called themselves Afro something. Yeah, I don't remember the name, I never do.
In
And they
India.
were, Yeah, and they were black Brazilians, you know, from Paradiso somewhere, and they were working with Ibunga and ayahuasca together, you know. Now, I hadn't taken ayahuasca for 15, whatever, how many years, I don't know. I've never done it for a very long time. And so these guys asked me, like, so I went to this ceremony because I bumped into somebody in the bazaar in the market, and they were like, oh, Diani, I just thought I'd tell you that there's a ceremony tonight for Yemaja. And I was like, what kind of ceremony? And like, the whole world celebrate Yemaja tonight. And I was like, really? Because I'm fully connected to Yemaja. You know, I am so connected to Yemaja, one of my goddesses. And I was like, this is a sign. I've just bumped into this girl, thousands of people in this market. This is a sign. I'm going to the ceremony. I turned up, but she said, ring this number. I thought, I'm not ringing no one. I just turned up as I live in the moment. I just turned up and they were like, welcome. Who are you? And I was like, I've come to celebrate Yemaja, you know. And then I looked at the crew and I was like, wow, there's some black people around here, you know. It's amazing as well. Like, because I never saw black people working with ayahuasca, you know, and they were from the Amazon. And yeah, it was a great session. It was a really great session. And then we did this beautiful mandala in the sea for Yemaja it was so powerful that night that, yeah, it was a very good night. Like at one point, while we were there and I was just like, we were dancing and whatever, that it was like the creator stepped into the space.
Wow.
And everyone hit the ground because I looked to say, like, is this only me? You know? And I looked at everyone and I was like, everybody hit the ground. It was so powerful. But then after the ceremony, we were all hanging out. I was asking everyone, when you went on the ground, you know, what happened for you? You know, and it wasn't the same for them as it was for me. But that was confirmation because imagine I hadn't worked with the plants for all those years. I decided, okay, this is about Yemaja. So yes, I drank some ayahuasca tea and then that was it. It was like they were saying, okay, Diani, this is what they're saying. What are you waiting for? You know, it's time now, you know, because I'm hiding, you know, in a way I'm not hiding, but I'm hiding. Like I have so much, you know, energy and I have so many different skills that it's only now I'm saying, you know what? And my guides are asking me, what are you waiting for? So I'll text you because I know you've been trying to get this interview for how long? And I was like, no, this is it. I'm ready. I'm ready. So even though I was born ready, but yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, because I remember when I spoke to you before, you were like, right now you're like, I just need to do some more self-work. I'm just kind of need to sort some bits out. You're like, give me a few weeks or whatever, and then you'll be good to go. And I know I was looking forward. I was like, you know what? When it's time, it is time. It will happen.
Exactly.
I wasn't stressed. But I know already that whenever we speak, like I always leave the conversation feeling uplifted. And just judging by the comments that I'm seeing in the chat, I'm not the only person who feels that way. So I really do appreciate you sharing your insight, your guidance, and your experiences because, you know, this is what, as I said, you're a free spirit. You literally learn from everything. You go where you want to go. I love the fact that you're not liberated. I've even got a message here from Binette saying, "Can you be my mentor?"
Yes, I can. Yeah.
So that is absolutely beautiful. Nateri says, I'm here in the flesh, my beloved, along with our ancestors.
Exactly.
So very wonderful. So also, Alel says, can we give our ancestors offering like my great grandmother? She was the first in my family that started family in America when they took her away. So yeah, I mean, you of course you can give her an offering. LL, if you can confirm more your question, then I can get Diani to respond deeper in that. In your feelings says, I love this channel. It is what people need. So thank you very much for that. So Diani, in terms of yourself, what would you recommend people do if they want to pay homage to their ancestors or to develop a relationship with them? What advice would you suggest for that?
Yeah, because I never really sent offerings. You know, my offerings are not anything physical. My offerings are spiritual. You know, connecting with them. You know, because they're all around us. They never leave us. And what I did was when one day when I was in Mexico a few years ago, I was living in Mexico, and I woke up and I saw all these ancestors around. First of all, I was thinking, who are you guys? My whole bedroom was surrounded. And I saw some of them really shining, some of them really, 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 really dark, black, 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 all kinds I saw. And I was like, and then I saw that some of them obviously in the beginning were enlightened, you know? And so I could see, then I just thought, let me invite them in because, you know, my vibration is high. So what I did was I started inviting them in to heal them, you know, and I must have done it for about 3 days. But then I had to ask them to leave as well because they liked the vibration. They never wanted to leave. So, yeah, so then I'd invite them in, you know, let them spend 5-10 minutes and then say, okay, can you leave now? And then the next one would come in. So that's better than an offering. But you have to kind of be quite, you don't have to be enlightened to do that, but you need to be quite clear and make sure you've got no negative energies in your auric field and you're grounded and you've got your protection, you know, from you've got the basics. Then, you know, it's all about intention. You know, whatever your intention is. So if you want to do that for your ancestors, then yes, you can. You just put that out as your intention because the universe is there to serve us and give us exactly what we want so that we can reach our fullest potential as these spiritual beings, because that's why we're here.
Lovely. Samira says, when you see the real, the body reacts. Thank you for this channel and thank you, Mama D. Lovely. So for some reason, Diana, your screen's gone a bit pixelated, but your audio is fine. So you can either log out and rejoin, or we can continue. I'm fine.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
How would I log out?
As in you can leave the chat and come back in, but to be fair, I don't mind. It's actually fine because your audio is good. So I don't even want to ruin it and you come back or get back in. All right. Okay. So Leo Wright says, my journey with you all have been an eye-opener, learning, libation, and honor to the ancestors. So thank you, Leo. Glad that you found that it's been informative. Anybody in the chat, if you have any more questions, Diana, are you good to go for another 15 minutes or so?
Yeah. I'll go nuts.
Well, I'm enjoying it as well because, as I said, every time I speak to you, there's always some kind of gems. So you've spoken about your affinity to water, which is why you choose to live near water. Can you elaborate at all on just nature in general and how we can incorporate nature and our relationship with nature in terms of our spiritual development?
Yeah, because like connecting to all that is, it's like when I had certain experiences like that experience in India, and I've had that experience, many rebirths, and what I actually discovered is that I found a God within me. Now, I'm not saying I'm a God, yeah, because I know lots of people, maybe friends that are Christians or whatever, they're going to be like, who does she think she is? Whatever. But, I'm not here to, I'm just speaking my truth from my experiences without following anyone or anything, just following my inner guidance and my guides and my ancestors. Because my grandma's been guiding me all along this journey too, and she's always with me. She's here now laughing her head off, so my Jamaican grandma, is a maroon, so I know I get so much power from her. And then on my other side, they were like real gypsies on the Maltese side, so I've got power from both sides, So what was the question? Sorry.
Even I don't remember. What were we even talking about that led us to here? No, I was like nature and your connection with nature.
So nature. So like that's why now I'm in the mountains, like I'm in the mountains. It's like all nature.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's all the elements, So I connect mountains. Like when I was in one place a few years back, maybe over 15 years ago, the mountain was crying to me and I felt this energy. The mountain's really sad. And so then I was asking the locals, like, because I always live in local villages in all cultures, all different places in the world. So I was asking the people in the village, what's going on in this area? Because it looks so beautiful and peaceful. What's going on with the mountain? I was asking them. And they were saying, oh, they're going to put a ski lift up on the mountain. So the mountain was crying, like,
wow.
The Japanese were going to put some ski lift up there so that people could ski halfway down the mountain in their ski suits and then take it off and come down in their bikinis, So, the mountain was really communicating with me and letting me know that it doesn't want that, I couldn't stop it, obviously. I mean, I did a lot of work in that area, but I couldn't stop it. But the greatest thing is there was all this other land there where I was living, and it was the only in the south of like Turkey, in the south, in the Mediterranean. It was like the last part of, nature, a nature park. It was the last bit. And, I did my best to save that place at that time because there was all these developers that wanted to come in there and build hotels. So, yeah, and the only way and how I cleared that place was my Qigong master telepathically, because I'm very much into Qigong as well. My Qigong master telepathically told me what I needed to do, and I had to walk around all that land and bless it with my right hand in the name of love, and it was such a, like I keep saying, it's such a simple technique, but laws change, things happened after that, because they're saying, like, especially here in Turkey, they needed the feminine energy. It's all masculine, all the men think, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that we women want to be higher or anything like that. It's just about us women, and I've been helping a lot of women to raise their vibration. Because if we raise our vibration, that means we're going to bring back the balance in the world, and only then can things get back to normal, normal as in, a high vibrational planet, a high vibrational universe that it is. So it's for us to raise our vibration. It's for us to do the work on ourselves, so that we can be that change, and so then obviously if all us women step up and raise our vibrations, then we bring back the balance, and then, the whole universe is balanced a lot better than what it is now,
I agree with that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I've seen loads of comments come in, so audience, please forgive me if I miss any questions. Okay, so
trees. I've been hugging trees. I hug trees. I sat on the root of trees. I sit in the nature. I sit in the mountains. I connect. Close my eyes. Barefoot. I have done all that. Now I'm just living it. Now it's part of my life. But there was times when I was in London, and I used to go 6 a.m. every morning to the local park and do my qigong and bring all the qi in my body and get it circulating. Because obviously when you're in the cities, you have to do a bit more work to keep grounded and stay in the body.
Yeah. I mean, even looking at your environment, the fact that you've got one window and you see the sea and the next window you're seeing the mountains, like, it's phenomenal. Like, wherever you are, it's just so in nature. That's just amazing.
Blessed. Yeah, manifesting. I manifested this. I thought I want to be in the mountains on the beach. And then I was in Portugal. And then I was thinking, where am I going to go now? And then a friend said, oh, can you come to Turkey? They just popped in from New York. So I came to see an old friend I hadn't seen for over 10 years. No one else could have got me to Turkey at that time, but it was such a good friend. And so then I spent a few weeks in the nature park where I used to be. And then I thought, right, I'm going to Tanzania. There's no lockdown. There's nothing there. So I was on my way to Tanzania, and I was driving to Istanbul from the south, which is a 9-hour drive. And then I thought, oh, let me just pop in and see my friends where I am now, Jayhun and Neshe. And I thought, let me go and see them now. And I came, and they've got this house, this glass house, looking in the mountains on the sea. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this place because I came there 2 years ago. Like, they've got Cleopatra Island just across from me. Oh, wow. I've heard about Cleopatra Island. It's here. Yeah. It's like this place. It's just here. Right over there is Cleopatra Island. Wow. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
So it's like, it's untouched, and this is all an organic garden. So I'm living it, Everything's organic. That's all my food that I'm eating, Wow. It's fine.
You're literally living off the earth. I do love that. I mean, it's such a beautiful, inspiring way to live. Like, wow. I just want to take a few questions and comments. So Leo Wright says, coming from a spiritual awakening in 2019, asking the Almighty for truth, I left the church and have followed ancestral voices and have been a blessing. Thank you so much, Leo. Glad to know that we've been helpful with your path. Alare says, what a wonderful insight, sister. This is what is missing in the world. The feminine energy, powerful stated.
Yes.
Bliss says, keeping grounded through nature is true spiritual connection. Love the space that she is in. I mean, yeah, that space is just everything. So the next question is, what are your views on regular cannabis use and spirituality?
Yeah, so I went through many things with cannabis because I'm Jamaican, we like to smoke, right? after being in Jamaica and spending all that time with the Jamaicans, I told them, like, I don't know where I'm from. You know, I just want to tell this quick story. And the Jamaicans told me when I was leaving, look, Tiani, you're Jamaican, true and true. You came to Jamaica and taught us about Jamaica. You know, you are a true Jamaican. So I accepted, and I said, when you travel around the world, tell everybody you're allowed to say you're Jamaican because you're true, down to earth Jamaican. So I'm Jamaican. So yeah, as for the cannabis, like, I mean, when I see people using cannabis, like all this punk, skunk, whatever you want to call it, it's like full of like, it's just to destroy people. It's like, you know, like one time I took a puff, someone said, oh, this is gelato, blah, blah. And I just want to taste it because I want to see what these young people are on, you know, and I tasted it and it was like, oh my God, this is like, and I had to tell them, listen, guys, you cannot smoke this. This is like, it like, my brain froze for like 3 seconds. I only had one puff, you know, it froze. And I said, you know what? You lot don't know yourself. How are you going to know yourself if you're deaf on these ites? There's not really ites like in Jamaica. It's not natural. You know, so I realized that all this punk and all this skunk that's out there now, it's just to mash up our youth, you know, because when they wake up in the morning, they're like, oh, their brain must be frozen. Their imbalance must be crazy, you know, and they wake up all vexed and angry. You know, I saw that for myself. So it's like, it depends what you smoke, you know. So if obviously, and then it's also about the vibration of who's growing the weed, because you're smoking that vibration. So it's not about, yeah, let's just get, you know, so it's quite a deep subject for me. Not deep, but, you know, everything, I have to look into everything because it is all about a vibration. So, you know, you're careful where you buy your greens from, and, you know, maybe, you know, the Rasta man on the corner and the Rasta man dep on his eye, he's a really cool guy, or, you know, and then, yeah, you can go and buy your weed from the Rasta man, you know, or someone that's selling something natural, some Jamaican or something natural, because some people, they just want really, really strong stuff. But really, my only advice is that you can work with everything. So you can work with cannabis because also it's a plant medicine. You know, so therefore, if you are going to smoke, work with intention. What is your intention? What do you want to get out of this? So nothing's unconscious. Everything is conscious. You're smoking consciously. So you work with, okay, my intention is whatever your intention is, why you're smoking this. And it's more spiritual. And then you can get a connection to all the nature even stronger. You can get really connected to yourself because you're working with it in a different way. Smoking with your friends, yeah. You know,
you're saying if you do it, make sure you get it as pure as possible, not obviously this new stuff that they're churning out now, which is full of chemicals, all that stuff. Yeah. And obviously, as you said, really important is intention is key. So Philemon Breedy, thank you so much for your donation. That is truly appreciated. Thank you. Bliss also goes to reinforce, yes, the intention matters. Ashe. Joanna says you're not meant to burn hemp, you can drink it in its natural state. What are your thoughts on that about burning?
They do say you're not meant to burn cannabis. You know, they say it's not meant to be burned, really, you know. And yes, you can drink it, you know, you can eat it, you know. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
All right. Oops, another question is coming in. I agree. Okay, lovely. So I'm just trying to get my bearings. We keep covering all these different areas. We talked about
there's levels.
Yeah, there are. There's so many levels. Because you actually made a good point in regards to marijuana, and you said whoever grows it, you need to be careful of their energies. And this is interesting because this is something I've ever seen. My interviews with Auntie J, she's also mentioned that the same applies to even when you dealing with incense. So she says she's never really liked incense sticks because you don't know who's been touching it up and all the energy attached to it. So she stressed that if you're going to burn something in your home, you should go with the natural stuff. So do you...
Like we've got natural sage here.
Yeah. So what kind of natural resins do you burn in your house? And would you also echo the same statement about, you know, the heavily packaged stuff? Be clear, mindful of that.
Yeah. So first of all, like I tune into, like, I ask people, like, where can I get some good incense? Because I don't want all that toxic stuff, you know. And they told me there's a couple of companies on, you know, because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So there's a couple of companies. So then I tune in and I test the companies, like, within me, like, what's a good company. So, and then each country is different. Like cedar tree here, the cedar is like so powerful, the cedar tree, you know. So I'm burning cedar here. And also sage, because there's sage bushes everywhere, you know, so you can just go and get your big bunches of sage. So I'm burning that. And also I burn sandalwood, you know, and there's a few other local herbs that I can't really pronounce the names here that I'm burning as well. But in each country, they, you know, I try and find out from the villagers, you know, so you get all this information from the villagers, and then I try and find, you know, some villagers that I can buy it from. So everywhere they have something, you know, everywhere. When I was in the mountains in Nepal, I got something there. You know, I've got a guy in India who hand rolls my handmade incense. So I take 6 months from him, but because I haven't been there for over a year now, no, not over a year, almost a year. So I've run out of my incense, but he hand rolls them for me, you know, and they smell amazing. And he's a healer, and his vibration's very high, and he makes oils for the soul, which I'm also going to be doing soon. I'm going to be working with him, and then, you know, we'll start making oils for people's soul, and the smells, everything is just so beautiful. And also it's helping you raise your vibration and stay in your center and balancing your chakras. So it's not just a perfume. Do you know what I mean? And
Wow.
each one is made, each person individually, tailor-made from what your vibration is. So yeah, these are the kind of people I get my incense from.
Brilliant. Now, for some reason, there is a delay happening as well. So I'm going to say, do you mind just logging out for a sec and logging back in the link, and hopefully we can get this sorted.
All right, then.
No worries. Thank you. So thank you guys. While we wait for Diani to come back in, I'm just going to read the next question. So Samira says, I am a mother of 7 and the big one is not doing well in his hospital. Can you send him some healing and love, please? My family, I believe in the power of you all, especially when the energy is positive. All right, Samiri. So when Diani comes back, I will put that question or comment through and we can get some healing up. And yay, you're back. Yeah, and the audio is back in sync. So there was one comment we got from Samiri. She says she's a mother of 7 and the big one is not doing well in hospital. Can you send him some healing and love, please? My family and I believe in the power of all, especially when the energy is positive.
Yes, I will. And what is her 7-year-old's name?
So Samira, if you can put the name of your 7-year-old in the chat, then we can direct those prayers. So thank you. So do that now and we can go ahead. Joanna says, I burn frankincense resin. I love it. I burn Palo Santo too, white sage, and also myrrh.
Yeah, I mean, the Palo Santo, I mean, you know, I was into that many years ago. From my guy in India, I actually got Palo Santo oil. And I put that in my thing sometimes, but you know, I'm trying to stay away from it because, you know, they're chopping down all these trees. So everyone's like, I got my Palo Santos, and it's like, yeah, and they're chopping down all the trees for it. And also there's a lot of fake Palo Santos out there. So I'm not really I've got a stick of it that I've had for about 2 years. I don't really burn it too much, but frankincense and myrrh, it's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Sandalwood is one of my favorites.
I do love frankincense, even though these days my thing of choice is camphor. I'm just a bit obsessed with it. I just love the harshness of the smell. Like, I love that. Samira, if you can put your child's name in there. And Stripey Spanish says, thanks for sharing beautiful insights. What are your experiences with screen time and tech when trying to stay grounded spiritually? Good question.
So like I said, the grounding as usual. And then I've got the smart door, you know, and then I work with, you know, shungai and some other crystals that, you know, protect you from radiation.
And do you find, because obviously you're fully out in nature anyway, do you actually limit the time you spend on the internet, or you don't really mind so much because you're already submerged in nature?
I mean, I try to be online as less as possible, actually. You know, I was off grid for 5 years. I never used any computer when I was trying to part of my journey, you know, because I kept getting electromagnetic stress. So I just got rid of everything. No computer, no phone, no nothing. I was just completely off grid. But obviously, you know, I had to come back, and, you know, now I work online because I do all my work from a distance, you know. So because I don't have to physically put my hands on anyone anymore. So because I do all my work from a distance, I can be in an environment like this, you know. And so yeah, so I wear my plasmo technology now. I have my smart dots on the back of my phone, and I have certain things in my house that also help. You know, I'm getting my new piece now, my new plasma technology. I'm getting that this week, so that will protect the house from all this radiation and Wi-Fi. And I always turn off the Wi-Fi at night. I never sleep with it on. And if I've got neighbours, then I will try and ask the neighbours, can we share their internet? Because, you know, if they're next door, it's like we can all use the same internet box. Can I use it? When I was in Brick Lane, I used to ask all the shops to turn off their Wi-Fi when they leave at night. You know, and I did a project, the whole of Brick Lane. Please, can you all turn it? Because I was getting so much EMS stress in my body at that time. It was like a long time, 15 years ago. So I don't know what.
Very good point you raised there, especially about if you're already neighbors. There's no need for every single house to have their own connection. That's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So in our house, there was 3 apartments in my building. It's like, let's all use the same Wi-Fi. And then it's £15. Okay, let's all put £5 each. But there's also a number 995, which I was given by one of my scientist ladies that I was working with. And it takes away, if you write that on the back of your phones, you know, you can put it on a bit of sticky paper, you can just write it on your phone or the back of your Wi-Fi. It takes a lot of the radiation out. Not all of it, you know.
995.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So Samiri's got back and says his name is Voldy Moyo. He's 19 years old and is having psychosis.
Okay. So yeah, I can do, if you can contact me, if you can just send me a message on Instagram, then I would do that later. I'll take a look and have a look, see what's going on there, and then, you know, do a healing, you know, and then I'm trying to be in contact with her so that I can see how he's doing.
No worries. So, Samiri, if you can drop Diane a message at Instagram, the name is at the actual Instagram handle is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Also, I would like to add, in our research as Ancestral Voices, if someone is having psychosis, it's really important to look into spiritual reasons of why this is happening. And it could well be that he is somebody like Diani, that he is able to perceive messages on a different frequency than we can. So even though we're looking at it here in his physical reality as psychosis, he could be receiving messages from spirit that he's not able to decipher for us to understand here. So he could have some kind of like psychic abilities or something like that where he is receiving spiritual communication. Yeah. So that it definitely will require further insight. Mm-hmm.
And also, you know, sometimes there could be a negative energy that's kind of attached to the mind or something, or some part of the body, because when they attach, then they start just feeding you all this psychosis stuff, you know. So healing can actually be a good thing, you know, because a lot of the times when people's minds, especially when it's to do with the mind and psychosis, it can be negative energies, you know.
Yeah.
Once you clear the negative energies, they're fine.
Mm-hmm. So definitely follow up with Diani on that. T. Lee says, much blessings and love to Diani and Verona. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. You're welcome. Joanna Harris said, okay, thanks. Re-info on chopping down trees. I love the sound of Paolo Santo oils. And Samira is saying thank you so much. So she will follow up and get in contact. And then spiritual healing for that Western diagnosis. So yeah, always look into the spiritual alternative to these things, because usually it is, whether it's a positive or negative energy at this point, we don't know, but obviously you need to get further insight to elaborate more. So Diani, as we're coming towards the end of our interview, is there anything you would like to share with our audience before you leave?
Yeah, just that I'm available for healing. I do ancestral healing. I clear black magic. I balance out the chakras. I've actually got like about 30 different things that I can do. So I'm just here to serve, and I'm ready to help anyone that needs any support. I'm also in tune with my psychic abilities. And I'm really happy to have done this show with you today, Verona, because, you know, you always bring the best out in me. Because you know, I connected with you the first time I saw you in one of those lectures, you know, and what the workshops that Darren was doing. How is Darren? Do you still see him?
Thank you, because I was thinking, where did
That's
we
where I
meet?
met you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, how did you even agree to be in the film? You must have thought, who are these random people asking me to be in this documentary?
No,
But
I
no,
was quite crazy. I was quite crazy anyway. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even think I stuck to the subject in that film. When I look at it, I think I'm not even talking about like the subject.
but no, Darren is still well. He's still doing all of his like he's a what's that thing? The whole mushrooms thing. He's still in that.
Yeah,
So
brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant.
like because I was thinking, how did we meet? But obviously you agreed to do it. And I also wanted to ask you, on the back of doing Ancestral Voices, did you get a lot of people saying, I've seen you before?
No, a lot of people came to me, were asking me for advice. And I mean, I don't think I even said my advice. My advice is we don't need the plants. We didn't even get to the point of that. We don't need plants now. We don't need them. There is more light on the planet than ever. So we don't. And so this big, this 21st of June as well is massive. It's like the completion from the other part from the winter solstice,
Mm.
So we've got to tune in on the 21st of June, even if you spend 5 minutes to bring that energy in. It's going to come in anyway. We can't stop it, but it's an exciting time. So the way I see it is we don't need to be working with these medicine plants anymore because we have so much light here now. And by bringing that light in, boom, it could just be, step into your fullest potential in 5 minutes. So it's just about focusing on this now and not going out and then giving all these people your money to, to work with the plants and blah, blah. No, we don't need it now.
So you're saying tomorrow, as we mark the summer solstice, we can just go outside in nature, just allow ourselves to receive the information.
Just allow ourselves to receive. Exactly. Just receive. Just be open, with our hands, and our bodies uncrossed. It's a really special time now, and obviously the other side, they all know what day it is. Do you know what I mean? So it's for us to just continue with, focusing on the light. We already had a big spiritual war from the light and the dark for a long, long time. I don't know how long, but for a long, long time. So now the light won, so now this is the fight, but the light's gonna, even Shaitan knows he's got to bow down now. You know what I mean? Everyone knows they have to bow down now. Afui time. It's the light's time. It is our time now. We're taking back over and let's do this.
I love your energy. I've always loved your energy. Like even now, I'm getting the chills again. I love it. I don't know. I just find you so inspiring. I saw this comment from Chelsea, which I thought was brilliant. Chelsea Sasha says, "Knew you'd be amazing. You look so relaxed and happy." And
yes,
that's
one of my tribe. She's one of my crew. Yes, Chelsea.
But that literally sums you up. Like I just, I think you're such a free spirit. I think you're so inspiring. I love the way you live your life. I love the fact that you've been like this for decades now, so it's you. And I think you're very inspiring, and I think that everybody who has watched this interview will leave with something. And even if they didn't leave from something you physically said, you actually gave the healing energy as well. So we're still going to be carrying this throughout the week as we move forward.
And guess what else? You're all going to be back. You're all back in your bodies. Do you know what I mean? You're all back in your bodies. It's like, come on. Your life will change from this moment onwards. Every 12 hours, ground. It's the most important thing you can do. That's it. It's like a really big tool, but everyone's saying, yeah, you can walk on. I've read so many grounding, the new age grounding, the starseed grounding, the this grounding, that. This works. This grounding. Yeah.
I'm going to start implementing that. I think that's a really good technique. Allow our bodies to receive, refocus the light. I feel this message, Ashe.
Exactly. Ashe.
Thank you. Oh man, like I don't even want to go.
Look at the lovely smile. We're like, let's fly.
All right. So there's somebody else coming to request healing. But I would recommend touching base with Diani personally, because obviously with each situation, if there's a particular problem, you would need to kind of assess what's actually going on so you can tailor make the healing. So Duchess, Dudu, please reach out to Diani personally. So Diani, I just realized, because you've given an Instagram handle. If someone doesn't have an Instagram account, is there any other way they can contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me on Facebook, which is Diani Kane on Facebook, Dyani, and Kane Kane. And the Instagram one is Diani Dyani 13. You know,
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Am I allowed to give my WhatsApp number? I don't even know it.
uh, good point, actually. Probably not. You'll have the whole world to send you random like calls.
Exactly. It's already a hotline.
So we've given two options. So everyone who's listening, if you're trying to do the Facebook contact, it's Diani Kane. That's currently on screen now. Or if you're trying to do Instagram, that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and you can reach out at Diani13. But wow, thank you so much, Diani. I feel
Right.
really inspired. I feel quite
Let me
refreshed.
give you a hug as
Sunday
well. Let me give you a virtual
afternoon.
hug. Let me give
Yeah.
you a virtual hug, girl.
Definitely virtual hug. I love the fact that you're just traveling. You're like lockdown who, lockdown what? That's not my
That's
language. You're like, I'm living my life. And that is the
right.
vibration that we need to be on, is that
That's
you
right.
are in control of your reality. All this other stuff we have to learn
Yeah.
to mentally rise above it and
Right.
ascend. As you said, we're in a spiritual time now where
Yeah.
we can create our realities.
And we're creating the new earth now, you know, so we've got to focus on the new earth, not the old one. Thank God there's change. You know,
Yeah.
change is here, you know, and like I was saying, like I couldn't sleep every night properly because 28,000 children were dying a day, or 29,000 of
Wow.
food and water. How does everybody think, oh, we want everything back to normal? Back to normal, where 29,000 children were dying a day. You know, I call myself the soul godmother, and all the money and everything I do now is to help the children because they are the future. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be like, I really, really want to help the children now. And I really want to touch all these children and try and help them erase their memories, all these children that have been through all this human trafficking. And if anyone watches this and anyone has any links, any children that I can help in any way, please reach out to me because I'm really here to help the children. It's really important for me, you
That is
know?
important, and I love that. So godmother, that's beautiful. I love that, and it's a fitting title. And as you said, there are all these horrible things going on which are being brought to the light and are being exposed now, and we do need to obviously address the child trafficking and all of these things. So it's good that you're offering your service with that. So anyone listening, if you do want help, obviously reach out to Diani. Imani's come and said, blessings to the ancestors, to you, sister Diani. You are such a spirit of light and so inspiring. May it continue in all your incarnations. Oh, that's a beautiful message.
This
Thank
is
you.
my last incarnation anyway. This is it. I've finished after this. And I'm
You're
not even
like,
going to if I want to. No. Because they say, once you reach your fullest potential, which, because I've done my Vedic astrology many, many years ago. So I already knew my chart, and this is my last, like even if you become enlightened or step into your full power, you can come back if you want. You have a choice. But me, I'm not coming back because I'm going to be doing some other stuff on the other. I'm
you're
not
like,
coming
I'm
back.
done.
My
I'm
last one.
done.
No, I'm this one. But I'm going to enjoy and live each moment and do as much as I can while I'm in this body.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
light. As usual, you've been very inspiring, inspirational. Everybody in the comments is agreeing with me. And I just want to say thank you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for doing the
you.
show. Thank you
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
11 years later,
Thank
still willing to come back and be part of the whole Ancestral Voices
you,
family.
man.
We appreciate
Oh,
you.
you guys are my tribe and you lot are doing the work same way. And I just want to say, well done, Verona. From where you were then, you were just starting out and now you're out there. You guys are doing the work. And like, I'm sending all my blessings. If you ever need any support or anything from me, let me know because you're
Oh,
doing the work, girl. Thank you.
thank you.
You're giving a stage for people like us, for us to get our work out there, and I can just see that you're growing and you're flourishing and you look amazing.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Verona. I love you. Thank you.
You're gonna make me start crying up on here now.
I know, Verona. Well
But no,
done,
the
girl.
energy is beautiful. And the only reason why we could do what we're doing is because people like you gave us the chance. So, as you said, we're family, we're doing the same works. And so, if anyone is inspired by what's happening, you can either reach out to myself, reach out to Diani, support what Ancestral Voices are doing, support Diani and all the other people we have on this platform. That's what it's for us to do, is to all elevate and rise and tap into
That's
our
right.
potential. So, with that said, I'm going to close the show. I'll say
Right.
goodbye to that beautiful scenery.
I know. See you soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Take care. Much
Love
love.
you.
Bye.
Mwah. Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Peace.